Hello and welcome back to another video on Unpack Technologies. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to adjust the lock screen items on your macOS device. This will allow you to customize how your lock screen looks and also how it functions. It's a pretty simple process, so let's get straight into it. Alright, so all you need to do for this process is go down and open up your system settings on your Mac. On macOS Ventura, as I've mentioned many times before, it's called System Settings. On macOS Monterey and older, it's called System Preferences. So on Ventura, it looks slightly different, as you can see here. If you're on Monterey or the older though, you should be able to follow along roughly. Just try and find the lock screen settings, and if not, you can do a quick search for it with the search bar that is present. So all you need to do is go down the left hand side and go to lock screen. Now this is all of your lock screen options here. It's pretty simple, so I'm just going to run you through each one quite nice and quickly here. So the first one is start screensaver when inactive. So that's just saying that after a certain period of time, the screensaver will begin. So you could say after 5 minutes you want the screensaver to begin. And then likewise, turning the display off when it's inactive, you can say, alright, so if the screensaver starts 5 minutes after the computer's been inactive, then if it's been active for inactive for 10 minutes, you can then turn the display off. So these work sort of together, and all of these actually. And it says require password after screensaver begins or display is turned off. So after what period of time do you want the password to be required after the screensaver has begun or the display has been turned off? So you could even set that to immediately if you want to. You may need to unlock your system settings depending on what setting it is, like it is asking me to do here. So I'll just unlock that there, and it allows me to change that. So I can change this to whatever I want. He wants me to put my password in there. But you can see all these different settings are present. You can also set to show a message when locked. So if I turn that on, I can set any sort of message. So this is just an example message that you could set. You could put that in there and it'll show that message when the computer is locked. So you can always change that to whatever you want, or you can turn that off at any time. So that's always a good option there. And then there's just a few other options for when switching user. So on your lock screen, if you've got multiple users, this will apply to you. If you've only got one user, this may not be as important, but you can see here, the login window can either show a list of users or it can show the name and password. So if it's a list of users, that's on by default. It's where you just have a list going horizontally across the screen, and you can choose whatever user you want and then enter their password. If you just choose name and password, it's going to have a blank username field and a blank password field where you just have to enter in your password manually each time for whatever user. So that's a bit like what schools and workplaces do. Otherwise, if it's just a home computer, you can probably just select list of users. It just depends on what sort of level of privacy and security you want, and also how many different people use this one particular Mac. You can also decide whether you want to show the sleep, restart and shutdown buttons. That's on by default, but you can turn that off if you don't want that. And you can also decide whether it shows password hints, so you can turn that on or off. And a password hint is just when you're struggling to get a password, you can't remember the password, or you don't know it, can show you a hint to sort of remind you what your password is. And finally, there's just some accessibility options as well. If you would like these to be available on the lock screen, you can just turn these on or off as you please. And that will just decide what accessibility features are available when you're on the lock screen. And if you're ever confused at any point, you can just click the question mark and it will bring up a little help user guide on macOS, and that sort of goes through what I've just told you there. So that's always there if you need it. So yeah, that's about it on how to change the lock screen settings on your macOS device. As I mentioned at the start, it's a very simple process, and it just allows you to do some minor customization to really make your Mac feel like your own and work best in the setting it is in. Let me know in the comments below if you have any video suggestions for me, because I'm more than happy to make those if you'd like to see them. Even any bigger projects you would like to see, I'm more than happy to get straight into those, because I always find doing those projects quite fun. Other than that, thanks for watching this video on Unpack Technologies. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.